Ma'am, I have started.
Okay, fine. So, Isha, be ready with your book and help us out with reading. So, children, in the first section, we've talked about the Himalaya and the three divisions of the mountain chain Himalayas. Some part of it lies in India, while some of it lies in the other countries like China also. Now, in the second section, we are talking about the plains, the Brahmaputra river region or the plains of India, and we will find out how the plains of India are so much suitable for agriculture and for the people to set up a settlement. Isha, please read out from the second point and then we will continue.
Yes, ma'am. The Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra Plains or the Northern Plains. The vast northern plains lie between the Himalayas in the north and the stable tableland of the peninsula in the south. In the far west of the plains are the Ravi, the Beed and the Satluj, the tributaries of Indus draining into the Arabian Sea. The Ganga and its tributaries like Yamuna, Gandak, Kosi cover the central and eastern part of the plains. Further east lies the Brahmaputra and its tributaries. The Brahmaputra is known as Sangpo in Tibet, as Dehang in Arunachal Pradesh, as Brahmaputra in Assam, and as Jamuna in Bangladesh. The northern plains are formed by deposition by the three main river systems, the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. Sand, silt, and clay brought down from the Himalayas by the permanent rivers formed this vast alluvial plains. The tributaries of the Ganga, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra have also contributed to the formation of the northern plains. The Ganga and the Brahmaputra meet in the Bangladesh as Padma and discharge into the Bay of Bengal. At their mouth, where they meet the sea, they form the triangular shaped Sundarbans Delta. It is the biggest delta in the world.
Okay. So we see that not only river Brahmaputra, but certain important rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Gandak, Kosi, Ravi, Beas, Satluj, etc. drain the plains part of India, which provides a very fertile region for the people to grow agricultural crops near these water areas. When we studied about the early humans, if you remember, we had discussed that they always set up their regions or their settlements or their colonies near water because it is important for the people for other daily needs as well as to grow crops. So the northern plains of India are very densely populated because rivers which drain into
हो
these
गई
regions.
क्लास
Make sure that you are in the class, that your mic are turned off. Where's a bus? So people, I was telling you that the rivers, for example, the Brahmaputra, Ganga, Satluj, Ravi, Beas, Yamuna, these form a fertile drain or a fertile plain on the plains region of North India basically. And they also form the Sundarbans Delta. I hope you know what is a delta, a triangular shaped structure at the mouth of a river when it is about to meet the sea. So when the river is about to meet the sea, the speed becomes little slow and it deposits the sand and the other heavy particles that it is carrying with it on while on being its journey. While it meets the ocean, it leaves all those heavy particles at the mouth of the ocean, which creates a roughly triangular shaped structure. It is called a delta. And the Sundarban Delta is the largest delta in the world. And to your notice, it is found in the country India. Importance of the northern plains. Now we have already discussed it so many times that the northern plains are important because they provide a source of very fertile region across the country for your country India. Let us find out what is the importance of the northern plains which are fed by these important rivers. Isha, please read out the importance of northern plains.
Yes, ma'am. Importance of the northern plains. The northern plains are vast, fertile lowlands. They are the most productive regions. The fertile alluvial soil and the rivers favor cultivation. They are the food bowl of the country. Hence, they are the most densely populated regions of India.
So people, you can underline this here. They are called the food bowl because they are the densely populated region. They provide agriculture or food, and they provide so much of food, so much of pulses, wheat, and other items to the country, to the rest of India, that they are also called the food bowls. And for this reason, these places are very densely populated. Many people of India like to live in the northern plains. Why? Because there is abundance of food supply. There is abundance of grains. The Thar Desert. Now, the third physical feature that we will talk about is the desert region of India. And we very well know which area in India is a desert area. It is the Rajasthan state region. Some parts of Gujarat, while the total Rajasthan region is the desert area for India. Now, like India has mountains, like it has fertile plains, it also has deserts. Yes, Isha, continue with the Thar Desert.
Yes, ma'am. The Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert. To the northwest and west of India is located the Great Indian Desert. The Thar Desert is located in Rajasthan. It is an
Stop.
extensive.
Please underline the north. It is located in the northwest and west. Underline the location, and you also underline the Thar Desert is located in Rajasthan. If you observe figure 7.8, you will see how deserted is the region, full of sand dunes, camels, and the life there is again very difficult. Yes, Isha, please continue. It is an extensive stretch.
Yes, ma'am. It is an extensive stretch of sandy desert. Rainfall is sparse, 12 to 25 centimeter, and temperatures are very high, 52.8 degrees Celsius in summer.
Underline this. The rainfall is very less, 12 to 25 centimeters, and the temperature is very high. It can reach plus 50 degrees, that is nearly 52 to 55 degrees in summers.
The area is dry with scanty or no vegetation. The sand dunes that make the desert give it the appearance of a sea of sand. These are some of the most sparsely populated areas of India. The construction of the Indira Gandhi Canal has transformed many areas of the desert into a fertile area.
Okay, so there is scanty or no vegetation. What do you mean by the word scanty? Scanty means there are patches of green, and then there is a vast space where there is no greenery. Then there is some greenery at the other side. So scanty means very spread away in a very rough form. Titar bittar is scanty. So there is very less vegetation available here. Also, there are some sand dunes. What are the sand dunes? Sand dunes means reet ke pahad. These sand dunes give it a view of sea of sand. It looks like there is a vast sea of sand. If you observe figure 7.8, the small mountains of sand that you see, these are called the sand dunes. Now with the construction of Indira Gandhi Canal, underline the term, Indira Gandhi Canal was made to provide a little water to the state of Rajasthan by bending the water from other states to the state of Rajasthan, and it has transformed many areas of Rajasthan into some fertile areas or some areas where greeneries could be grown. The peninsular plateau. This is a longer portion. We will not take it today. We will discuss the peninsular plateau and the coastal plains on the next turn, children. So please read out point number 4, the peninsular plateau, and point number 5, the coastal plains. Also read out the island section. Maybe we will end up the chapter tomorrow on the next turn, not tomorrow exactly. So the peninsular plateau. the coastal plains, and the islands. You will read it out. Which was the exercise that we had marked?
Ma'am, all the exercises we have marked, ma'am.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
we
All
marked
the
exercise E as well?
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
C, D, E, and all question answer, all exercises, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So children, now that we have completed with the exercises, I want each one of you to complete your answers by Saturday. I remember I had given you time till Saturday. So please complete that. So
Ma'am, I
meanwhile,
am
Isha,
done.
you can read out the peninsular plateau. We just read it and we'll see if we can discuss.
Okay, ma'am. The Peninsular Plateau. To the south of the northern plains lies the Peninsular Plateau. It is triangular in shape. It comprises the oldest landmass of India. It is formed mainly of igneous and metamorphic rocks.
Metamorphic rocks. Now there are some rocks which are created by volcanic eruptions. Do you know the concept of volcanoes? When volcanoes erupt, lava comes
Yes,
out,
ma'am.
molten magma comes out. Now, when
Yes,
it
yes,
cools
ma'am.
down, it creates some rocks. When lava cools down, it creates some rocks. Those are called as igneous rocks. This north southern portion of India, the southern portion of India, which is also a peninsular region. I hope you remember what is a peninsular region, an area which is covered by sea from three sides and land by one side. So the South Indian region is a peninsular region and it is created through volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions हुए, उससे पत्थर क्रिएट हुए और इन पत्थरों ने एक फर्टाइल एक रीजन क्रिएट किया, एक लैंडमास क्रिएट किया जिसको हम पेनिसुलर रीजन ऑफ इंडिया कहते हैं. इट इज टू द साउथ ऑफ इंडिया एंड इट वाज द फर्स्ट रीजन्स टू बी क्रिएटेड. Yes,
The
the
general
general
height Yes, ma'am. The general height of the region is between 600 meter and 900 meter. The surface of this tableland is highly uneven. The river Narmada and the Vindhya range roughly divide the plateau into two sections. With the two sections with the central highlands in the north and the Deccan plateau in the south.
underline the term, the central highlands in the north and the Deccan plateau in the south. It is divided into two sections. South is again divided into two sections, the northern and the southern part of south. So the northern part is called the central India, the central highlands, the Madhya Pradesh and the region below Madhya Pradesh. And there is this Deccan Plateau region, Deccan Plateau covering the regions of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and areas below it. The Central Highlands, read out the section, the Central Highlands.
Yes, ma'am. The central highlands extend from the Delhi Ridge to the Raj Mahal
Delhi
Hills.
Ridge to the Rajmahal Hills. Delhi Ridge to the Rajmahal Hills.
Yes, ma'am. Delhi Ridge to the Rajmahal Hills. To their northwest lies the Aravalli Ranges. They are one of the oldest fold mountains of the world. They are now highly eroded. The central highlands comprises the Malwa Plateau, Bundelkhand,
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 Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand,
Bhangelkhand,
Bagelkhand.
Bhangelkhand and extends to the Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east. To its south lies the Vindhya and the Satpura ranges. The rivers Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. These are vast flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. A number of hills like the Mekal, Kaimur and Mahadeo flank its boundary with the Deccan Plateau.
Next one, the Deccan Plateau.
Yes, ma'am. The Deccan Plateau is broad in the north and tapers in the south. Large areas to the northwest of the plateau are covered with basalt lava flows. The rocky block is tilted towards the
Basalt
east.
lava, basalt is also a kind of a mineral which forms up rocks.
Yes, ma'am.
The
Basalt
rocky
lava
block is
flows. The rocky block is tilted towards the east. The main rivers of the peninsula, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, flow eastward and drain into the Bay of Bengal. The western edge of the plateau is bordered by the Western Ghats. It is also known as the
Sahyadris.
Sahyadri.
Underline that all. The Western Ghats are also known as the Sahyadris.
Sahyadris. The Western Ghats are almost continuous with a gap in the south. The Nilgiri Hills lie here. Southward lie the
Annamalai and the Cardamom Hills. Underline this also. In the southward lies the Annamalai and the Cardamom Hills. I hope you are able to see the book.
yes, farm.
Yes, ma'am.
Region that we are talking about is this is the Deccan region. This is the Deccan region, and this is the Northern Plains. Now, right below Delhi is law. Right below Delhi, to the central area of India, lies the northern part, and this is the Deccan Plateau. How do you say that it is a peninsular region? Now, if you see this much portion, do you see that this is a triangular shape structure? Now,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
called a peninsular plateau. This is called a peninsular plateau because it is covered with water from the three sides: the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and the Indian Ocean. Also, it is covered by land from one side. So, any land which is covered by land from one side and water from three sides is called a peninsular region. So what we discussed just now was this region. There is the Sahyadri or the Western Ghats. Then there is the northern parts or the central parts, and there is the Deccan portion or the Deccan part of India, the South India. In total, this is known as the Peninsular Plateau or the Peninsular region of India. So I hope this section is clear to you. What we were discussing वो ये region है India का. Are you getting this?
Yes, farm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. So we will also read out one last topic, that is the eastern boundary of the Deccan Plateau is formed by the Eastern Ghats. Please underline this. The Eastern Ghats are separated hills. They are broken by the east flowing rivers and they are uneven. Importance of the peninsular plateau. Isha, quickly read out these 3 points.
Yes, farm. Importance of the Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is rich in minerals like iron ore, coal, and manganese. The edge of
Underline
the
this. It is rich in minerals like iron ore, coal, and manganese. Next point.
yes, ma'am. The edge of the plateau is a site for building dams. Cotton
Okay.
grows very well in the Deccan Plateau area. The
Underline
scenic
this.
beauty.
Cotton grows very well in the Deccan Plateau. So if somebody asks you what is the best variety of crops grown in the Deccan Plateau, you can tell them it is the cotton plant, because the soil, the black soil which is available for the growth of cotton is available in abundance in the Deccan region. The scenic beauty.
Yes, ma'am. The scenic beauty of the highlands in the plateau attracts tourists.
And it attracts a lot of tourists because of the scenic beauty of coastal areas, of the plains, and of the hills. So I hope this much is clear to you. I don't think we have moved very fast because I've explained it to you nicely, I suppose. So if there is any confusion still, we will discuss this on the next geography turn. Meanwhile, you read out the 5th point and the 6th point from this section, and we'll try to end up the chapter on the next geography turn. Isha, you can stop the recording now.